frustrating day with weather. We had about it was 35 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that delay. Felt like forever. But it is what it is. We had lightning in the area, got a good rain. Good thing is we got to practice in the rain, which I think is always important. So we didn't have lightning early, but we call it wet ball practice. So we got a lot of wet ball practice, kind of in warm-ups, and then also in the first part of the scrimmage. And then we had lightning, so we had to shut it down for a little bit and then go back out, which in college football is happening more and more. So you got to be prepared for it. It's almost like coming out after a half a little bit. So that was good to get used to that. You know, we did some things well in the scrimmage, and really, to be honest, after the delay, the special teams kind of went downhill, got sloppy. Wet ball, the guys dropping stuff, took a couple bad snaps. I mean, it was rough after it rained, so that was a little disappointing. But I do think the kids had good energy, and thought the offense played with good physical toughness, and defense, we got to improve right now. But I'll open it up to you guys.
Obviously, you guys are playing in the dome to start with. Are you at any point going to move to practicing more on turf, or is there anything you can do to prepare for that?
We've got the turf field here, and then we've got a turf field over at the practice facility. So our plan is to get a couple practices in where we go out and do some stuff on the turf, but it won't be live scrimmage stuff. It'll just be one spot practicing over at our club sports facility on the turf.
Did the offense have a better day than the defense?
I don't know. I have to watch and see. I just think they play with more physical toughness. It's hard to say off of just sitting out there because there's so many scenarios. There's 2 minutes, fastball, red area, there's goal line, there's first, second down, second, 10, third down. So many areas that I'd reserve that judgment until I watch the tape. But I think they played more physically tough than the defense, yeah.
Can you share some stats or some highlights, anything that happened during the scrimmage portion?
To be honest with you, it's a blur. I mean, it really is. Stats I can't share, no, but as far as who played well, I mean, to be honest with you, I thought the offense ran the ball well. And that's always a good sign, but it's kind of what you have to do when you're in that kind of climate. Makes it harder. You know, today I think the goal was to get timing in the passing game, to be able to throw the ball and have timing so that we could improve that from the last scrimmage. And it was a tougher environment to do that in. So those are the conditions that we were confronted with, and I thought the offense made the most of them, made the most of those situations. You know, a couple guys made good plays, but it's hard to say. You know, I think Brian Harry ran the ball well. Reggie made a couple plays to the outside, but nobody really stuck out. Not that, you know, without watching the tape, it's hard to say.
Does it lessen the importance of the scrimmage in terms of the quarterback evaluation given the weather conditions?
I wouldn't say lessen the importance of it. Certainly makes it important, but I think it does affect the play caller a little bit, you know, in those conditions, because you're trying to find out what we can do. You know, it's harder to find out what we can do in those conditions because some guys are slipping around, and you find out a lot about a game that we may play. I mean, we may play a game in those conditions. You're going to find a lot more about those. But the center quarterback exchange was good, which sometimes gets sloppy in that environment. But you know, we'll continue to go down this quarterback road until we figure it out. But I can't tell you anything to update you right now because I want to reserve that judgment until I watch the tape like last time.
Even leading into the scrimmage, has the rotation changed up a little bit, or is it largely remained the same?
It's pretty much remained the same. I mean, Jacob's gone a little more, a little less with the threes, more with the ones and twos, just to get him more reps. Because if you remember, he didn't go with the ones at all in spring. So it was a situation where we wanted to try to catch him up and evaluate him and get him more reps, so that we could continue to evaluate the other two, and the other two would continue to go, but they would also do with the three. So.
I know you got to watch the film, but with 2 days off and then Tuesday, do you want to approach starting Tuesday as kind of 2 weeks of prep for North Carolina?
No, we'll continue fundamentally to get better. We are working as coaches on all our opponents. We're doing a different opponent each and every day at practice where we focus on them for a certain period. So we'll continue to do that fundamentally for us, and we'll begin work on North Carolina when we think we're ready.
So at quarterback, will you continue to evaluate all three?
We're going to evaluate this tape and then make a decision. So we'll evaluate the tape. I'm not going to say what I want to do Tuesday because I haven't watched this tape.
How close, just in general, other position battles, offensive line, are you getting towards knowing who's going to play and who's going to help you in that first game?
I think this tape's going to do a lot of that. We're going to find a lot of that out here in the next 48 hours of watching tape, evaluating. It's a whole body of work up to now, but it's also this last scrimmage that we'll find a lot out. It's not the be all and end all because we've got a couple practices left before we start working towards North Carolina. So we want to continue to get better fundamentally. And to be honest, the only way you get better is going against good people. So as soon as you start working against scout teams and look squads, I think you lose a lot of fundamental value in your practice. So we'll continue working good on good, and we'll continue to work on opponents we're going to have to face. A lot of teams do stuff that our offense doesn't do.
In terms of next Saturday, what are you looking? I mean, is that what's that going to be in terms of is it going to be another scrimmage? Is it going to be a walk-through practice type situation?
Yeah, we'll decide that closer to Saturday. Probably going to be just a football practice getting ready for the next week.
Kirk, what's going on at right guard with Galliard and Sims?
There's three guards that we really think are rotating playing good: Isaiah, Galliard, and Dashawn Sims. So there's nothing going on there other than a rotation of those three guys for two spots. So those three guys are all playing what we consider to be winning football, and they're battling it out.
So is Catalina
He's
more so?
Isaiah
Okay.
at left tackle. So there's nothing settled. It would be if Isaiah continues to play well and Dashawn and Lamont are our best two, then they'll be in and Isaiah will be out there. If it's the other way and Catalina's the best at left tackle, then Isaiah will be battling with Dashawn and Lamont. It's kind of depends on who's playing the best.
Are you guys
a lot of that's going to go out the tape we're about to watch.
Are you guys open to playing all six guys there? Not necessarily like in our game situation.
Certainly, if they're ready to play and they can play, I think it helps guys sustain and play better when they get a little break. It depends on what time your kickoff is, where the kickoff is, indoors, outdoors, conditioning factor.
It was a week ago that we saw Maurice Smith first take the field. Can you update us? How has he looked this week, and do you think that he's going to be able to help you guys?
Yeah, he's picked up the scheme well, and probably the toughest transition for him is special teams because things aren't exactly the same. And he was a large contributor on special teams there last year. He's filled some good roles for us there. He's worked at the nickel spot. He's worked at the corner spot. He's picking up the defense really easily, and been able to communicate with the other players. I can't say exactly how he played today, but he and Rico both played. And Rico played some safety too. Quincy's been out, so we've had to try to develop some more safeties with Quincy out.
Were Quincy and Charlie able to get on the field at all today for the scrimmage?
No, not for the scrimmage. For the warm-up, 707, Quincy did some movement stuff, but not for the scrimmage part, no.
All
So,
week.
yeah.
How would you say Jacob responded to more reps with the ones and twos? And it seems like that. That's obviously a change from what he's done.
Yeah, I think he's growing as a player. I think just the cumulative effect of the reps doesn't matter what offense you're in. The fact the other two have been in a college system for 3 or 4 years, it puts them at an advantage from a standpoint of dropping back, making decisions, seeing coverages. So we're trying to catch him up to speed and get him some reps to find out what he can do. And how he's responded, I think he's done a good job responding to it. He's had an opportunity to make more plays and also an opportunity to make more mistakes. And he's done both. So he's got to continue to improve there.
Sony not do anything today?
Just a lot of running.
Does he have a date where he needs to do something by, or?
I wouldn't say it right now. It's one of the deals that it's a medical decision right now, and they're trying to decide when it's safe for him to go back and do things. He did a couple. He's playing at 7-on-7 right now, so that's an upgrade. But we're not hitting him either. So it's a situation that's in the medical hands. And there probably is a date that we would say, hey, we need to know something by, but it's not like Sony hadn't played football. The biggest thing that comes is going to be ball security.
Kirby, I know you said last week the officials were blowing the whistle a little bit quick, I guess, on it. Was that still the same day he got to get?
No, we had a different crew today. They were. I didn't mess up and tell them that hey, to blow it when he went down. I didn't tell them anything. So they were fine. He did a good job. He got some carries, and officials didn't. I was ready to blow it quick a couple times, but they didn't.
How did Nick look himself? He looked.
What's himself? I don't know. I've never seen him before. I don't know what side
how did he look to you today?
He's doing a good job. Nick's a workhorse. He worked hard at it. So it was wet out there. It's tough to have a lot of speed and burst in that environment, but a lot of times it's not the fastest guy. It's the guy that can stay on balance and body control.
Right, obviously getting pretty close to kickoff. I mean, when it comes to time to get ready for the game, do you get 2 quarterbacks ready to play? Are you comfortable with getting 3 ready to carry a script into a game?
I think we'll know that after the scrimmage, watching the tape, whether we can get 2 or 3 ready. You know, we've got a plan in our mind, but that's not for public opinion and not to share with North Carolina and everybody else in the world. So we'll execute the plan we got at hand, and it'll be what it'll be.
Seems like oftentimes we talk to you after practice, both scrimmages now, you've singled out Reggie Reggie Davis is making some plays on the outside. What kind of camp has he had?
He's had a good camp. You know, Reggie's an experienced receiver. He's got a good burst. He's playing really hard. He's playing good on special teams. Reggie plays the game the right way, and you appreciate that. And the quarterbacks reward guys who play that way. So I mean, he continues to do that well.
Have you simulated a real game with like headset coordination, and how easy is it to like prepare for that and practice for like a real game?
We've done that. We did that today, actually. We sent the coaches up who would be up in the game. We communicated signals, did everything like a normal scrim, like a normal game. So the guys were in the box, they would be in the box, and they stayed up in the box and communicated that way. And that was just a dry run, so that we would have that kind of worked out. So yeah, we did simulate it.
Where are your coordinators, up or down?
They're down.
Both of them are going to be down?
At inside linebacker, we heard a lot about Reggie Carter coming in, but Roquan looks like he's getting a lot of snaps. Y'all have a plan, maybe all 3 of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, we need all 3 of them. It's a tough position. I don't think I've ever got a season that all 3, top inside linebackers were able to sustain without bumps and bruises. Such a physical game. So, I mean, so many of these teams we play fast, so you got to be able to play a lot of guys. So Roquan, Reggie, Natrez, Juante was doing a nice job. Sean Roundtree made some plays today playing linebacker. So, I mean, we're trying to find 5 guys who can play at that position. And we're comfortable with 3. I don't think of it as Roquan's a starter, Natrez is a starter, Reggie's a starter. They're all starters. They all got to play for us.
What's Briscoe been dealing with? Is he able to scrimmage?
Yeah, he scrimmaged. He had to keep a black jersey on. He's had a little sublux shoulder. It's going in and out on him, but he wanted to be out there, so he's not able to do everything, but he scrimmages like normal.
Kind of where Johnny O'Neal kind of fit in the middle linebacker group a little bit, right?
He's competing. Johnny does a good job. Johnny has a different skill set than our normal linebacker group. You know, he's got more of a downhill, physical, bumper, helps on special teams. And Johnny's very conscientious and works hard. And he's competing to be in that same group to play.
One more question, anybody?
You mentioned the weather with regards to special teams. Did it have more of an effect on the kicking game as opposed to the return game, or vice versa?
I would say more of the field goal game because it was wet and it was really sloppy and hard to snap. And we got most of our punting in prior to the rain. So the punt and punt return game was fine. Kickoff return was really fine. It was more of the field goals, the PATs with the sloppiness out there, the wet. Thank you guys.